You know, here on this channel, I tend to pride myself in being a very straightforward person to you. I try not to hide anything from you. What you see is kind of what you get. So I have to be completely honest with you. Yesterday, I tried to record an episode of a Solitaire mystery, okay? I had about 28 minutes to make the video, and then I had to leave to go somewhere. And I was like, come on, I could get a episode of a Solitaire mystery done in 28 minutes. And then I started playing Transmutation Solitaire, okay? In which we have to combine cards to create new ones with higher number values that I would otherwise not have available to me. We have to basically stack the numbers 1 to 26 in a pile. I tried it, and after 28 minutes, I was so broken that I hit the end recording button and moved on with my day and proceeded to go so far as to ask my dad yesterday for help on ideas for how he would complete Transmutation Solitaire. So I'm going into today's episode with more knowledge than I would have. And I'm not positive it's going to help me, okay? I'm not positive it's going to help me. This is a 4-star difficulty. And it's freaking hard, okay? And we're going to talk about it a little bit here. So, let's play. If you missed the past couple episodes of A Solitaire Mystery, go back and watch them. You'll enjoy it, I'm sure. Or you won't. I don't know. It's just me playing Solitaire, so there is some question marks about how enjoyable this actually is. So, here's the gist of Transmutation Solitaire. I've got four stacks. Effectively, this is a 52-card normal standard deck of cards, right? Just the numbers, it says 13 instead of being a king, right? 12 instead of a queen. Your aces are these Aqua, Ignis, Terra, and Air, okay? And we have to put the numbers 1 to 26 on this pile right here. Now, we can stack cards ascending and descending at the same time, as long as it's alternating suit. So we can put the 3 onto here. I can't put the 4 onto here because that is not alternating suit, right? But what we could do is, if the 3 was a different suit, you can go 3, 4, back to 3. So you can go ascending or descending. When we place 2 cards over here, it combines the numbers. So if I put a 3 and an 8 in here, that makes an 11. Now the 11 cannot be used to craft again down here. And the 11 counts as any suit, so it can be used to go up and down, ascending, descending. We can put another crafted card on top of this one. That also works fine. We have 6 available stacks. You can store cards over here. Like, you can kind of see that I'm using this as storage right now. And the only goal is that you have to get to 26, okay? So let's take some time to unpack what actually has to happen here. In order to get the number 26, I have to add together 2 13s, right? You have to, this is the only way to do it, is 2 13s to make 26. To make 25, you need to do a 13 and a 12. There's no other way. So of your 4 13s, you need to ensure that 3 of them are available, otherwise you actually can't win, right? And then it kind of trickles down, and that's where the math gets like a lot more complicated, is when do you decide to craft a card versus just put it into the pile, right? And you can think of it like this. There's 4 sets of 13. You know you need 2 of those sets of 13 to do the numbers 13 to 26. Because those are all of the craftable scenarios to get yourself up to 26. Kind of, I think. I think that the math checks out there. To be fair, I haven't necessarily pulled out a sheet and paper to figure out that piece yet. But what I think has to happen, and I'm just gonna restart. I guess I could have just backspaced a bunch. What I think we need to think about doing is, obviously we have to place down 1 to 26, which means that the very first card that has to go in here has to be an ace. I mean, it is non-negotiable. It has to be an ace. But then what gets a little squirrely after that is I really don't think you want to put a 2 on top of here. I think you want to add together 2 aces to make a 2 to put on top of there if you can, right? That's where we have to get into the solitairing component. The issue is that the higher numbers are extremely valuable, right? I don't want to use a 10 to fill in the 10 over here. I want to put together 2 5s to craft that 10, which means that I'm losing out on 5s, which means that my 5s, I need to maybe craft together a 2 and a 3 to make a 5. We want to craft as far down as possible. We want to craft as many cards as possible, I really think is the strategy. There is probably like a point in which you shouldn't anymore, but I think that the more you do, the better off you're going to be, because we're going to hit like a plateau where we can't do any more anyway. And you're probably like, Tyler, play a card. You've been yapping for 5 minutes now. Let's start going into this with the idea that we just need to be careful how we do it, right? Because otherwise we could end up really royally screwed in this. It could be kind of spicy. So for right now, throw this 3 over here. Put the 13 on here. You've got a 2 and a 3. You can put the 2 on top of here for right now, and then put the 3 on top of there. This is, I think, what you need to try to start doing, right? Is creating really wonky mega stacks of just the same numbers going up and down. Because you have to work your way into some of the wonkier... I mean, you got to work your way down to an ace, right? You also have this 11, 12, 13, which is surprisingly tough to deal with here. What we can do is we can move a 7 to here for right now. Go 7 on here, 8 on here, 9 down, 8 down, 7 down. You get a 13 back, which I actually like quite a bit. This is the kind. I feel like this is the kind of stuff we have to do. Is we have to organize the board before I ever put anything in here. Obviously, if I can get to an ace, we're gonna put the ace in. But we have to work our way towards that first. And like I'm looking at some of this. This is actually quite interesting over here. Because if we... You've got like a 9, 10, 11, 11, 11. There's 3 11s in here and a 13 in here. We can make a pretty crazy stack down here, I feel. There's also the idea of we know we're going to want to craft a 5 with a 2 and a 3 at some point. Or maybe you want to craft it with an ace. I don't know, do an ace and a 4. There's so many options that it makes it surprisingly difficult to track what is the best option for some of these, because like this is now kind of nice, right? And this whole thing is sitting here, and if I can move this 8 actually, well, I'd like to move this 11 first, which we can do. I can't do that, actually. We need to open up another 12. How do I open up a 12? Don't know yet. We'll figure out. The 10 is also really important. Although you're a damn green 10, which is much worse. That's much worse. And like combining an 11 and a 2 to make a 13 is a terrible play. I can't emphasize enough to you how terrible of a play that would be. I think what we want to attempt maybe is let's make a 4, okay? And just put him up there. That frees up a spot here now. That allows me to lay down an 11 here, so I can put a 3 here, put a 4 here. You now got one hell of a stack right here, but I'm not worried about that quite yet. What this opens up for me is... What does this open up for me, actually? We can put the... We can put this onto here. That opens up this 3 that you can put on there. Then you move the 11 onto here. You move the 6 onto here, and we can place our first number, which is nice. I think that's a good situation to be in. Move the 6 back. Now we want to move the 10, 11, 10. That opens up a 5. The 5, you can move this whole thing. We now have... You can move the 5 to here. You can move the 6 to here. You move the 7 to here. look at this nonsense, man. We have a stack all the way down to this 11 available for us, which is absurd. And if we bring that 11 down, I can now bring this 12 over. This looks insane, but I'm going to tell you that this kind of rocks, to be honest with you. I think that is so damn useful, it's insane. Because now you can go 12 on 13, 9 on here, 5 on here. You've got the entire damn deck stacked on one pile. It looks nuts. It looks nuts, but I'm really quite pleased about it. We're gonna move this 9, move the 11, move the 10, move the 9, move the 10, move the 9. Can't do that. Yeah, good point. Good point. We're gonna move you over. We're going to... I need to get to that ace. We're going to do that to craft a 2. Put you on. Now, ideally, you would try to craft a 2 and an ace to make the 3 right now. But that is slightly easier said than done, I would say. Let's move this, move you over, move the 6 to here. Oh, you know what? Free up spot doing it like that. There's your ace now. But we can maneuver this slightly differently around, I think. You can move... I mean, you can't really do that, actually. What can we mess around with here? We got a 12. We got a 12 over here. I think I might have put us in a little bit of a soft lock here. But I don't hate it. If we do this, we do this, we do this. That opens up the 2 that I needed. Now I just need to get this 13 out of here somehow. Which we can do by putting the 4 here, the 13 here. We can now craft the 3. Now we have our 4, which we already have. So this is fairly exciting. You're already done. You go on. Now we have a 2 hiding in here somewhere. No, we have the 2 hiding over here. So if we go this down, this down, this down, we take a 2, we take a 3. You're a 5. We now need a 6. Where's the best place to grab a 6 from? Probably here. Or do you craft a 6 with 2 3s? I think that you probably craft a 6 with 2 3s. So we'll move... Put the 5 on. I still think that we're going to reach a point where we're crafting too much. So we have to... It's like a delicate balance. I feel like I've put myself in a really good position here. So maybe you don't craft the 6. I still think you craft the 6 though, man. I really do. Let's move. Well, you could craft a 7. And you're gonna go, Tyler, that seems like a weird play. I don't think it does. Because now I can move this whole thing, move a 3 down, 3, 3 to make 6, 7. Then you have 4, 4. And dude, we now have basically like stacks going all the way down forever. You go 4, 5 to make 9. You go 5, 5 to make 10. You go 6, 5 to make 11. Okay, are we just cruising now? 6, 6 to make 12. 7, 6 to make 13. 7, 7 to make 14. Are we going to run out of cards? We might run out of cards. This to make 15. 8 and 8 to make 16. 9 and 8 to make 17. 9 and please, 9 and 9 to make 18. We'll go 10 and 9 to make 19. 10, 10 for 20. 11, 10 for 21. 11, 11 for 22. 12, 11 for 23. 12, 12 for 24. 12, 13 for 25. And 13, 13 for 26. I actually think this, I'm not joking when I say this. This might be the most impressive thing I've ever done on YouTube. I've been doing this shit for 13 years, okay? I've done a lot of impressive things on YouTube. I think that this tops everything. I think that there's an adrenaline rush going through me, right? You probably can't hear it in my voice. But there's an adrenaline rush going through me that genuinely feels as if I have accomplished rocket science. I have found the cure for cancer playing a solitaire mystery right now. Just freaking brilliant. Okay, Transmutation Solitaire. I'd play it again, to be honest with you. I had a great time with it. What are you? The Council of Secrets. Okay, why not? Right, why not? Another slightly more themed solitaire inspired by the game Werewolf. I freaking love Werewolf, man, so this is perfect. Solve a traditional solitaire while also trying to identify 12 face cards based on their behavior. This sounds like it might be the greatest solitaire variant of all time. So let's figure it out. What do we do? Rules. Pile cards of every suit in ascending order on the slots on the right. Pile cards of every suit in ascending order on the slots on the right. Normal solitaire, okay? Cards are stacked and moved in the bottom slots in either ascending or descending order of alternating suit, okay? Face cards are unknown and move from left to right in the top slots based on their suit/value, determined by the cards in the bottom slots corresponding to each top slot. If you understand what that says, props to you. You have more reading comprehension than me. Jacks move above the next bottom slot with 0 cards of the Jack's suit, if one exists. Queens move above the next bottom slot, tied for least cards of the Queen suit, not 0. And kings move above the next. This is like when someone tries to explain a board game to you. and they're the only ones that know it. And they're like, don't worry, guys. It's easy. And you're sitting there like, the queens move above the next bottom slot, tied for the least cards of the queen suit, not 0. Kings move above the next bottom slot with at least 1 card of the king suit, if one exists. What the frick, man? Okay, you need to use the above logic to determine the identity of each face card. When you have a guess, click on the face card and choose the card you wish it to be. When you've filled the slots on the right and have given a guess for each face card, the game ends. If your guesses were correct, you win. If not, you lose. This is gonna destroy me. Okay. Jacks move above the next bottom slot with 0 cards of the Jack's suit. If okay. Let's just experiment a little, okay? So I moved the ace to the 2. The whole frickin' world just changed. I was expecting just like the 12 to move. So they move every time. They move from left to right in the top slots based on suit and value determined by the cards in the bottom slots corresponding to each top slot. Okay. So, here's the thing, right? Let's just be a little intelligent for a little bit, okay? My form of intelligence that I'm going for is to just play some normal solitaire for a little bit. Because I feel like that we can accomplish some good things by just letting the old solitaire rip a little. Okay? Once we get some stuff in, then we can worry about, you know, some more complex scenarios. The solitaire part is surprisingly easy here. Like there's no concerns from me on this. I would like to cancel this. I'm not ready to choose the identity of the person. So, if I move... What I want to do is I want to give us a scenario where I can move... Where's a 4? You got a 4 deep buried in here. I'm going to move you here. I'm going to move you here. I'm going to move you here. And I'm going to move you here. So, we've now got a 10 and a 12. With a 7 of hearts, okay? So the face cards are unknown. Move left to right in the top slots based on their suit/value. Jacks move above the next bottom slot with 0 cards of the Jack's suit. Move above the next bottom slot with 0 cards of the Jack's suit. Queens move above the next bottom slot, tied for least cards of the Queen's suit. Okay, let's move the 7. So we're moving a 7 of hearts. The 12 stayed, the 10 moved. They move from left to right. So if move above the next bottom slot with 0 cards of the Jack's suit. I'm reading the words, I promise you. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. I really don't. Corresponding to each top slot. Face cards are unknown. Move from left to right in the top slots based on their suit/value, determined by the cards in the bottom slots, corresponding to each top slot. The Jacks move above the next bottom slot. Move above the next bottom slot. Okay. With 0 cards of the Jack suit. Okay. Maybe we can figure some of that out, right? Because the Jacks are only going to move to slots with 0 cards of the Jack suit. Right now, we have 1 of every suit in every pile, except for this one and this one. So if I move cards, well, but I have to be careful how I do this. If I move this, Jacks move, put it back for now. Jacks move to the next bottom slot with 0 cards of the Jack suit, if 1 exists. The 12 continues to not move. Right? Now, if I move the 10, That now makes it where this slot, if the 12 moves to the right, then the 12 is the jack of diamonds. I mean, does that logic check out, man? You still have 0 cards of your suit. If I moved this, you should not move. You didn't move. You're the jack of diamonds, man. It has to be, right? It has to be. So let's try to maneuver the rest of those, right? I mean, I feel like that we might be able to sneak a situation around here. So we have the jack of diamonds. So he's always going to move to the slot with 0 cards of the jack suit. Okay? So theoretically, if I were to move a freaking 6-5, you move the 5 to here, the jack stays. You move the 6 to here, the jack stays. You move the 9 to here, the jack stays. You move the 3 to here, the jack stays. You move the 10 to here, the jack stays. And then if we now open up another slot with the jack should move to the left. Okay, I'm 100% confident that is the jack of diamonds. Let's now create a different scenario. So we move this here. And we want to put one of every number again in, like, let's move. Where the hell's the ace, by the way? You're right here. I'd really like to get the aces in. We can do some cleanup to make this easier on us, I think. Move this. And then move this. This. I'm not sure what I'm doing here is correct. Move this. And then I need an 8-7-6. Where's my other 8s, man? Are you an 8? You're an 8. All the way back there. Okay. Move the 7. And then move the 8 to here. Move the 8 to here. I'm going to put this on. I'm going to put this on. I'm going to put this in. Jack still makes sense to be right there. I feel very confident about that. I no longer fear anything with that. We need to just make some piles of each card, right? So we need a 7-6-7. You can move the 7 to here, 5 to here. Let's get the 8 of diamonds set up here. So you have one of everything. Then we need an 8 here and then a 7. But I need the 7 of clubs. So let's put you there. You have everything. You technically have everything. You need a heart still, which we can maneuver. If we figure out the jacks first, I feel like that opens up some decent ideas for me. Let's move you down. And then, I mean, theoretically, you want to also move. You want 10s on the bottom, right? So move you, move you. You have everything. We'll move you. You have everything. You have everything. You definitely have everything. You have everything. This 7 we can maneuver to be better. So 6-5. Let's bring the 4 over. You're missing a heart, actually. So we can swap you like so. So now we just need a club on this. If you don't understand what I'm doing, I'm trying to single out to where we only have one of a suit sitting in a spot. So the red 10, this means that the jack is always going to move to that position. But what we need to maneuver is I need to have the diamond be the only thing remaining. How the hell do I do that? Hold on. I need diamond to be the lone wolf. So you move this back. Because the jack is going to want to move to where there's not a diamond. That makes sense. But then we need, in order to figure out, let's focus on the jack of hearts, right? Let's focus on the jack of hearts. The jack of hearts is going to move to where there's not a heart. So one of the 10, 3, and 2. One of the 10, 3, and 2 is a jack of hearts. That makes sense. But we need more cards there to figure that out. Okay? So move some more of these. So this is now the 2. The 2 is the only thing staying constant across these. So the 2 should be the jack of hearts. I feel weirdly confident in that. Because you're always going to move to where there's not a heart. And we have no hearts in these two piles, so it's going to move to where there's not a heart. Moves to the next one with 0 cards of that suit. Okay. Now let's do spades. So it's going to move to where there's not a spade. So the 10 and 8, it really feels like it's the 10. Because that is staying constant. The 8 moves on to where there's a spade. So you're not the king. You're the jack. And then we just need clubs. So all of those have clubs. Moving to where there's not a club. You have a club over here. Club, 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 club. Moving to where there's not a club. That would be the 3. The 3 is the jack of clubs. Okay. So that's all the jacks taken care of. Let's figure out queens. So queens move above the next slot, tied for the least cards of the queen suit, but not 0. So the least cards of the queen suit, let's start with the queen of clubs. But it can't be 0. So the queen's going to alternate between... The queen of clubs is going to alternate between this column and this column because they each have 1. So 8 is alternating back and forth between those. And no other thing is alternating between those. So the 8 has to be the queen of clubs. Now let's do hearts. Okay. So hearts, we got 1, 1, 1, 2, 2. Let's make this easier by adding this to here. The queen of hearts will alternate between those 2. So we got a 1. 1's not it. We got 7. 7 is alternating back and forth across those without any fail. The 7 is the queen of hearts. Okay? Keep it going. Keep it going. Let's do spades. So we got 1, 1, 3. So the queen of spades will alternate between this column and this column. We got 11, 9, 4. 9 goes back, 9 goes back, 9 goes back. The 9 is the queen of spades. And now we got diamonds. We got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. Let's not have just 1 over and over. So let's move this to here. So now if we put a spade down, we move the 5 and we put a spade here, we should see the spades all... We're looking for diamonds. I'm an idiot. Okay, hold on. Move the 5, 4 back to here. So now you got 2 diamonds here. One here, 1 here. So we should see the 1 comes over, the 4. Oh, why are you 4 to 4 to 4 to 4 to 4 to 4? Yeah, the 4 is the queen of diamonds. Okay. I don't know, man. It seems to be working. I can't wait to hit the ready button, man, and then I'm completely wrong, and I'm just gonna end the video and walk away in shame. It'll be the biggest disaster to end the video after the greatest triumph to start it. Kings move above the next slot with at least 1 card of the king suit. Okay, so let's start with diamonds, right? We're gonna make this easy by putting a diamond in every slot but 1. Okay? So it's going to move to the next slot with a diamond. So now what I should see is the 11 is, well, the 11 has to be the king of spades. Because the 11, let's watch the 11. He should go to here next. Yep. He's going to skip over this one. Yep. He goes to there. He'll go to there. He'll go to here. He'll go to here. If I put him back here, he will skip this and come back to here. Yeah, the 11 is the king of spades. Okay. Beautiful. Now let's figure out diamonds. Okay. So diamond in every row. King of diamonds is going to move. The 1 moves. If I put this here, the 1 is the king of diamonds. Now you move this. You put down a club. The 5 immediately went. 5 has to be the king of clubs, which makes you the king of hearts. But let's humor that, right? You move to a heart. You move to a heart. You move to a heart. You move to this heart because you'll. Let's move this. We should see the 6 jump to this column. No, it goes to this column. After, it'll jump to here. Wow, but it will always jump to there because it... Okay. It'll jump to here and skip this. Yeah, King of Hearts. Dude, I feel confident about it. I really do. If I'm wrong, oh well, okay. But I do feel confident. I wish I didn't feel as confident as what I did, because I feel like that I'm going to be completely wrong and then you guys are gonna make fun of me. But I have to. I'm the best to ever do it. I might be the best to ever do it. Win a game of the Council of Secrets. God, he's good. For the record, that is really difficult to understand, but it was fun, and I'm not sure I would ever play it ever again, because I feel like that the joy of figuring it out was the first time that you did it, and now I've kind of succeeded. Fun solitaires today, man. I mean, you can't knock those in the slightest. It's been a solitaire mystery. If you enjoyed, as always, liking the video, much appreciated. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.